It's in the same family.
There you go. I've had the pleasure of working with John when I began working at PBS over 16 years ago. It was then I learned what a kind, patient, and very intelligent man he is. He's very loyal to his students and his staff, and heard it myself stand up for his teachers and his staff. He always made it a point to always make it about his students. It is very apparent how much you truly do care. There are a few of my John-isms that I will miss. If you tell him, I'm running out, he'll say, take your car, you'll get there faster. Some of his catchphrases, hunky-dory, fine and dandy, such is life. And if you don't know this, he hates snow and technology. I'm going to miss the smell of your espresso coffee. How will I know what time it is to go home? Main Street life has been quite interesting since October of 2019. With the Fleagate, fiasco, then the virus, power outages, and yet, John, you maintained your cool and sense of humor. You are a man of integrity, respect, and loyalty, to name a few of your qualities, besides being a true family man, a true gentleman, and a friend that I will miss working with. And now more than ever, you deserve this well-deserved retirement. Dr. Seuss said it best, and it's for me, not for you. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. I will miss you, Dr. John, but it's really not about me, it's all about you. I am now going to introduce the mayor. I'm sorry if I pronounced that correctly.
I was having trouble hearing. So I asked John if it was too early to start with what's new. Anything exciting this week? He said it wasn't, so I'd start with that.
Good boring week.
In all truth, whenever everybody leaves public life, you hope what they say is, I didn't agree with the guy 100% of the time, but he had the best interest of the residents, in this case the students, and I'm convinced that John always did. Deputy Mayor and I have stood side to side with him, whether it was in Trenton with the Education Commissioner, or whether it was, our own parents after Parkland. So again, I'm convinced that he always had the best interest in the students, which is the district, which is the parents, and the town. So John, you've earned this, and again, best to you. What we did is we put a proclamation together, so I'm going to read it real fast because it's kind of the way that these things are done. Whereas Dr. John Marchanti attended school at 54 Main Street, which is the current administration building of the Board of Ed, and went on to graduate from Pinebrook School in 1968. And whereas Dr. Marchanti pursued a career in education and was hired on August 18, 2003 as the Director of Special Education of Pupil Personnel Services, that's the PPS. And whereas on July 1st, 2006, Dr. Marchanti was appointed the Assistant Superintendent of PPS. And 1 year later, on July 1st, 2007, he was named Superintendent of Schools. And whereas Dr. Marchanti has loved spending time with his wife Anna and children, whether it's a simple bike ride or time at their beach house in Belmar, and we all like that beach house in Belmar, John, don't forget to call us. He always enjoyed the company with his family. Whereas Dr. Marchanti has been described by his colleagues as an innovative problem solver and truly cares about the children of the district and values early childhood education. And whereas Dr. Marchanti is said to possess all the qualities of being a leader, including integrity, accountability, empathy, humility, resilience, vision, influence, and positivity, and he utilizes those qualities to inspire those around him. Whereas Dr. Marchanti has encouraged his colleagues to work hard to obtain success, they describe this approach as a thought-provoking process and has guided him to think, process, and then implement. And they feel that he's created more than just a team, but also a family. Whereas Dr. Marchanti will be retiring from this position on June 30th, 2021, after serving as superintendent of schools for the past 14 years. So now therefore, I, Jack McNamara, Mayor of Township of Manalapan, do hereby extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Marchanti for his many years of service to the Manalapan Englishtown Regional School System. On behalf of the Township Committee, we should wish him well in retirement and in his future endeavors. John, best to you. You earned it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Tonight we are here to celebrate our wonderful superintendent, Dr. John Marchanti. Former President Dwight D. Eisenhower once said, "The qualities of a great man are vision, integrity, courage, understanding, the power of articulation, and the profundity of character." Well, I think that quote truly applies to our superintendent. During the last 14 years as our superintendent, Dr. Marchanti was responsible for many accomplishments. Too many to mention them all tonight, but I will share some highlights of Dr. John's career at MEPS. When he took over the running of the district, the climate and culture of MERS was not in a good state. He worked hard to bring back the feeling that we are a MERS family. He was a member of the negotiating team, which a few years back settled the teacher's contract on the first night, something that had not happened in over 30 years. He was responsible for the implementation of full-day kindergarten in 2014 to ensure our students had adequate time to meet the newly revised standards. He established the 1 to 5 grade schools, which gave them a neighborhood feel. He has always had a clear and concise vision for the district. He is an exceptional leader who has worked collaboratively with his administrative team to help close the achievement gap. He has always allowed his staff to do their jobs, and has encouraged them to come up with solutions. He has been responsible for both presenting at the National Model Schools Conference and encouraging the staff to attend. He was the force behind starting the RTI program in our district, which has been extremely successful and a big reason for our overall success. He was integral in bringing Project Read to the district and implementing coaches to ensure the fidelity of the program. He hired Dr. Santora 5 years ago, and on July 1st, she will be filling his position. Recently, he had to deal with the issues at Main Street with the arrival of the fleas. We coordinated the move to MEMS, and then joining the fleas came the springtails. And if that wasn't enough, then came COVID-19 in March of 2020. Throughout the past 14 or so months, Dr. John has effectively steered the ship through the pandemic. I recall asking him one day, "Hey John, what did you do to piss off God?" On a personal note, Dr. John formed a good working relationship with the board. He has taught me much about how a school district functions. He has helped me to overcome some of my fears, this being one of them. And I know I am a better person for having the distinct pleasure of working with him over the past 10 years. I know you will join me in wishing him a safe, happy, and healthy healthy retirement. Though we will miss him dearly, his impact on the district will remain. Thank you, Dr. John.
I am delighted to honor Dr. John Marchionte as he retires after 23 years of service to Manalapan English Town. I know that for those of you who are currently working with John, this is a bittersweet event. You're happy for him, but you'll know that you'll miss him. Well, let's face it, it's time. 23 years, 14 years as superintendent, the toughest 16 months any of you have faced in this profession. It's time for him to enjoy himself with his brilliant and beautiful wife, Anna. Their lovely children, Johnny and Elizabeth, are on the West Coast, not here this evening. Mia, who followed her father's footsteps to a career as a school psychologist. Tommy and his wife, Amanda, as well as the granddogs, Bailey and Elsa. And of course, the newest addition to the family, John's Vespa. A great deal of John's success as superintendent is due to his training as a clinical psychologist. But even more than his training, John has been successful because of his intrinsic qualities. First of all, he's likable. Almost everybody likes John as soon as they meet him. And even people who disagree with him, call him out, try to non-renew him, they actually like him. Secondly, he's really smart and able to see the big picture. And this helps him get on course to a problem solution early enough to actually make a difference. In addition, and most importantly, he is a righteous man. In the words of Psalm 112, the righteous man is not afraid of bad news. John's ability to see the right path and hold to it, even in the face of critics and complaints, is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. So now we come to John's legacy. Psalm 112 reminds us that the righteous man will be remembered forever. For those of us lucky enough to work with John, we will forever remember the power of his leadership, the vision he set, the support he provided, and the self-confidence he inspired in us. His legacy will live on in the district's continued success in serving the children of Manalapan and English Town. For those of you still working, it will live on in the lessons you've learned from him and your use of them as you grow your own legacies. And for those of us who are retired, it lives on in happy memories as we welcome him to join us in these days of looking back in appreciation for what was and in anticipation for what will be. Thank you, John, for all you have given, and wishing you great joy in your next chapter. Thank you.
So they didn't think I was going to get up here or I'd be loud enough. I can do both.
There you go.
So on my ride here today, I had written this really nice speech, and I started thinking. I thought about the fact that everyone was going to mention Fleagate. And what I thought about was, as terrible of a time that was, I was sort of lucky. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So John and I got to share a desk for 6 months. Which, as someone who wants to be a superintendent, is a fabulous experience. You're sharing a desk with a wonderful superintendent. How great is that, right? So I look at it as a positive memory. John, not so much. So then, for the last 6 weeks, I haven't been here. I've been working from home due to my boot. I come back on Tuesday night, he says to the board, please put me on leave. Now, I know I'm not supposed to take all that personally, but I do. And now I have to get up and say this really nice speech. Oops. Okay. So, as I just said, I consider myself extremely fortunate to have been able to work alongside John for the last 5 years. I've been able to learn so much about learning a school district from watching John, working together, and our daily conversations every day that summarize our day. A few years ago, John came into my office, which he often did, and he would say little things to me or hand So he hands me this book. Everything I need to know I learned from a golden book. And he says, you need this. And walks out. So I don't really know what that means, but I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I need this. So when I started thinking about this speech, and I remembered my book, because I'm still confused as why I needed this. I think about it often. I said to myself, I think what I want to talk about is that everything I need to know about being a superintendent, I learned from Dr. John Marchante. And that could be turned into a book. So then for the first time, I actually opened the book. I was home, I had to have it delivered. And when I opened it, I started looking at some of the messages. So for instance, don't panic.
It's baby book. I love it.
Use your imagination. Just don't go overboard. I have a few more. Choose your companions wisely. I'm stuck here with all this stuff. Make a budget and stick to it. And finally, work hard. And I thought, okay, all those things could be in John's book. But what else could be in John's book? So I wrote some things down.
Here we go.
Some are lead through teamwork and collaboration. Strive to provide the best education in a safe, nurturing environment. Always be honest. Almost everything is fixable. If you make a mistake, own it. Make people's mistakes learning opportunities for them to grow. And if it lands on your desk, then you handle it. But then I thought of some more that are more uniquely his. You can and should always win a battle with fleas or any bugs for that matter.
Never give up.
Snowfalls must be funny. And then this one I'm struggling with because he's always been spot on, but it's not my favorite. Always trust Lonnie Quinn for the weather. This concerns me for next year. I'm not a Lonnie Quinner, but I'm thinking I may have to be. A nice cup of espresso at the end of the day can make everything better. And I think the one thing that he's probably taught me the most, and many of you will know this move, when you want to get your point across, you go like this. The longer the pause, the better.
Yes, that's good.
But in all truth, John, I'm truly going to miss working with you, but I can assure you that your legacy you created in the Manalapan Englishtown Regional Schools will live on. So thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. And I will be calling you in September, even if you're in Italy.
The administrative team has put together a song for Dr. Marchante. She's so excited about it. We have changed the words, so we hope that you enjoy them. And we did ask Christina Chan, one of our music teachers in the district, to actually sing it because she has a good voice and we don't, so that we could follow along. Following this evening, we will send you Christina's version so that you can truly enjoy it. Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Seriously, ask her.
We're just backup singers.
She's not bad.
We may start crying, but we'll be alright. The day has come, the one we tried to deny. You have guided us with your shared vision. You let us hear, please feel right. You are so smart and you've been so strong. Your ideas helped us, made us all belong. The spotless peanuts can't be broken. We will be here aiming high. 'Cause you'll be in our hearts. Yes, you'll be
is special and within each of us. Your legacy thrives in all, and you'll be in our hearts. Yes, you'll be in our hearts. From this day on, now and forevermore. We listen to you, 'cause we know what you know. We supported each other to help MERS grow. We've achieved success. You all know. Retirement calls you. We must be strong. We may not be with you, but we will forge on. We'll succeed together. We know. We'll show you together. 'Cause you'll be in our hearts. Yes, you'll be in our hearts. From this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in our hearts. No matter what you'll say, you'll be here in our hearts, always.
It's the Manalapan Englishtown Regional School District calling. I wonder who it could be. Wait, could this be Dr. Marchante with a pool day call? Or maybe it's a no mask on the bus call. It couldn't be a snow day call in June. Wait, does Main Street have police again? No.
Oh, it's a call from the admin team.
Hello, this is your MERS admin team with an important message regarding Dr. Marchante's retirement.
Here is some official advice for retirement.
Never talk about COVID again.
Not watch the weather while predicting a big storm.
Rest, relax, and enjoy the beach. You earned it.
To continue tradition, let's repeat this message again. Hello, this is the MERS admin team with an important message regarding Dr. Marchante's retirement.
Here's some official advice for retirement. Never talk about COVID again.
Do not watch the weather when predicting a storm.
Rest, relax, and enjoy the beach. You earned it.
This is your MERS admin team with a final message. Dr. Marchante, we will truly miss you. Thank you for an amazing educational journey. We love you.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble. He's got 14 years worth.
I have a real long speech. Sorry about that. I've been around a long time, so there's lots to say. I've spoken at a lot of retirement parties. It's different when it's your own. For once, the speech can be about me.
Yeah.
And I'm not forced to talk about somebody else and how their retirement's going to make my life worse. But I thought that when I was thinking about it, though, then I realized it still really isn't about me. It's just a place that I now have to talk about and thank all those people who helped me. So that's what I'm going to do. So here goes. First of all, I like to start with my family. Two of my children are here, Mia and Tommy, as well as his wife Amanda. My other son, John, and his wife Elizabeth are living in California. First, I want to thank them for reminding me that the only reason anyone ever laughs at my jokes is because I'm the superintendent. Now, right now they're saying you're laughing because I'm the superintendent. And I also want to thank them that reminding me that delegating is something I get to do at work and not at home.
That's a fact.
And I also want to thank them for putting up with the frequent moments in their lives when they introduce themselves to someone for the first time. The first thing they hear is your father the superintendent of Manalapan? And right after that it goes, I love his snow calls. But Mia, please admit to everyone here, you do enjoy having a heads up when we're going to have a snow day. Speaking of weather, I have to thank Anna, my lovely wife, for tolerating my obsession with weather reports, as well as my bureau romance with Lonnie Quinn. For those of you who don't know, he's the Channel 2 weather report. I also want to thank you for putting up with the constant intrusions of my phone buzzing as the superintendent group discussed the latest insanity, the night and weekend phone calls from administrators due to the various issues, and the emails that needed to be sent out immediately, all of which frequently impacted family or social events. But most of all, I want to thank you for the support over the years as I continue to trace my dream. From night classes to get my supervisory certificate, Saturdays at NJXL to get my principal certificate, and changing 8 jobs before I got to Manalapan. You've always supported my decisions. And most of all, this past year and a half, as my frustration tolerance decreased and my exhaustion increased, you understood more than most the impact the pandemic was having on me, and I couldn't have gotten it through it without you. Love you. One of the unique things about being a superintendent is while everyone thinks you're the big boss, I actually have 9 bosses at the same time, which included the possibility of that changing every November. I couldn't have accomplished my vision without the support of the board. It hasn't always been a smooth ride. Since this is a party and a celebration, I'm going to focus on the positives. I want to thank Lori Semmel, who's not here, who has been on the board the entire 14 years, and is someone who I could always count on for support. I want to thank Tony Manasara, who's also not here, for giving me the opportunity to be a superintendent. Now, I could go on for a long time, but speeches are boring, so I'm going to have to mention 2 other people. The first is Joey D. Joe, you can be a pain in you-know-what sometimes. But there was one moment that I will always remember, and it was when my job was on the line in front of a packed room in Wenrock Brook during New and Old, the portion of the agenda. Joey D recommended that I be renewed, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah, baby!
Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe.
We
Made
did
my
it.
career. There is one additional board member who, above all others, I owe a debt of gratitude and thanks. Whoever said that the relationship between the board president and the superintendent is essential for the district to be successful knew what they were talking about. Dottie and I not only shared a vision of what we wanted for the district, but also we had almost a complete agreement on how those roles interacted. That doesn't mean we haven't had our minor disagreements. But I would not be standing here today feeling as good as I do and about my career without that partnership. Madam Board President, please stand up and let's give her a round of applause. Okay, now I would like to start thanking the people who actually did all the work that has allowed me to feel good about my career. I'm going to start with my administrative team. They could work on their singing, but I've been in education. That was ad-lib, just so you know. So I can't be funny. I've worked in education over 40 years, and I can tell you I have never worked with as dedicated and hardworking group of administrators as I have in this district. I knew, I have to turn pages, that Manalapan was a special place when I started at PPS. The principals and assistant principals would go to extraordinary lengths to keep their children in the building. As superintendent, whether it was with a one-to-one initiative, Common Core implementation, or Model Schools initiative, as a team, you guys would grab the bull by the horns and take charge. This is why the district, based on its own measures of accountability, is one of the best in the state. But I do believe how a team handles a crisis is the true measure of its worth. And believe me, if I had to ever lead a district through a pandemic again, which I won't, I would want to do it with all of you again. I also want to thank all the support staff in the district: bus drivers, assistants, techs, security, custodians, maintenance and secretaries, and anybody else that I neglected to mention. The district is a $90 million corporation, and yes, its purpose is to teach children. But without your hard work on a daily basis, it would cease to function. You don't get the credit you deserve, but every day, let me assure you, I thanked you because I knew the day went smoothly due to your hard work and dedication. Thank you. And now I want to thank the teachers as well as the child study team, nurses, guidance, and anybody else I missed, because I'm sure someone I did, and I apologize. And hold on. So much. Plus I had to print it large because I can't see. It's really not that long. You guys did the really hard work, the direct service to children. The expectations here in Manalapan are really high, and you are well aware of that when you talk to your friends in other districts. We do place a lot of demands on our professional staff, but it's not just working harder. You've become part of the vision where you, through highly effective instruction, have contributed to an increase in student growth above and beyond every other district in the state. I'll be the first to admit that when I look at districts' results and compare them, which I do all the time, I feel really good about it. But I also know, while I had a small part to do with it, the real work was done in the classroom. Thank you for that.
Bravo.
I also want to thank, this was not in the speech that I had reviewed because I wouldn't give the speech that I was reviewing to the assistant superintendent to review what I was going to say about her. I've had two great assistant superintendents. When I started, it was Joanne Monroe. The two of us learned this job together. We went through some pretty difficult times, but I could always count on her to be able to stand up, and when someone thought they knew more about curriculum or something else, she'd be able to speak as a person of authority, and that was it. It was done. I always look forward to our talks at the end of the day, and those first 9 years, it was a wonderful relationship, and I appreciate all that, and you really helped me become who I am. And now, Nicole. We've had fun for 5 years. Spending 8 months in the same room with her. All I can say is her mother, after 3 weeks of taking care of her, wanted her to go back to the house after she drove. But I want to say that when she came on, I said to her I wanted someone to be Joanne 2.0. I wanted somebody who was going to take it to the next level, to bring technology and the ability to use it into the department, and to be someone who I could see replacing me, who could continue what we've accomplished over 14 years. My leaving is so much easier knowing that the person who's coming in, taking over, is going to be able to do that. Thank you, Nicole, for that. And lastly, I would like to thank all of my secretaries over the years. Dottie at PPS. I remember the first thing that happened when I walked in, I actually had something to eat, and she was so happy that I was normal. I didn't understand, but I was learning about Manalapan. But she did help me understand what Manalapan was like and how one functioned in the district, and that gave me a good start. when I became Pam and Irene, and may she rest in peace, both of whom taught me a lot about what I needed to do to survive when I became superintendent. When I walked into the office, they both came in and said, if you want us to leave, we will. And I looked at them and I said, are you crazy? You think I know what to do? They taught me a lot, and they let me, and I really do feel that they're the ones who allowed me to be very successful when I moved into that office. And now Felicia. Where are you, Felicia? Here you are. Now, clearly, I cannot be a bad boss. She's worked for me twice. She didn't have to the second time. It's been a wonderful relationship. I think we work well together. I think you have helped me for years in PPS dealing with that, and then coming over and taking over for Irene. I can't thank you enough. You all make me look good. She planned this party. She walks over here at 3:30 and finds out we're in a different room because there's no power. She calls me up, I go, okay, what else can go wrong? Clearly Dottie's correct. I've done something in God's will. But as you can see, it turned out wonderful. Thank you. So, now that I've gotten done with all the thank yous, I can now make the speech about me. Right? Can I do that now? Okay, good. It's my party. I am really happy about retiring. I feel really content. I feel good about my career, and while I've been reminding everyone about my pending retirement for over a year, frequently stating that at every meeting, letting everyone know I have 7 meetings to go. I have how many board meetings to go? You named it. If I can make a reference to how long I was going to be here, I made it. But while I've said that frequently, I am incredibly glad that I was here this year. Because as us, as a team, we got through this pandemic. I am proud of what everyone did, working together and taking care of each other. It's been a great 18 years. Thank you, all of you. That's a blanket. Anna, they gave me a blanket.
Open it up.
I'm opening it.
Pirates, yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. It's fantastic. See the difference. That's wonderful. I gotta take a picture.
That's beautiful.
All our t-shirts from each school. There's a picture of the building.
Lots of sayings.
George. George is there.
Where's George?
George is at the bottom.
Oh, here's George. Everyone knows we have a paper mache someone. He's got a mask and a shield.
Can you put